Hello everybody, today I am with Shireen from TakewhatResonates. She is going to be explaining the topic of what it's like to do the inner work and her stories, her revelations, and her perspective. So let's get to it. This is episode 1, and to commemorate episode 1, Shireen, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so what's up, y'all? Again, my name's Shireen, or you can call me Rain. I go with Take What Resonates. That's the business, that's the brand. I like to consider myself a teacher of life experiences, where I teach from my experiences, share it with you guys, keep it all the way authentic with you guys. And yeah, there's so much more I have to offer with you guys with Take What Resonates. So starting with this series, Take What Resonates, episode 1. Today's topic, as Edgardo, the lovely gentleman, said, it is doing the inner work. So let's just get started. Yeah.
All right, so what does it mean to do the inner work?
To me, what does it mean to do the inner work? Well, to me, it means healing. Addressing wounds and traumas from the past, diving deep within. That's why it's called inner work. So to me, doing the inner work is going in and addressing issues and past things that we're like holding on to, and yeah, that's it.
And so why do you feel it's important to do the inner work? Maybe, I guess, why is it important to let go of past issues, past traumas, let's say?
Well, I feel it's important to do the inner work because how are you going to be able to move forward when you're like so caught up in the past? That's example. That's like an example of all the list of many reasons why it's important to do the inner work. I feel without addressing what's going on inside, you can't really tackle what's going on the outside. So doing the inner work is very important to me. I would say it's because it's like it's like preparing for the outside. You got to work on and strengthen what's going on inside to prepare what's happening on the outside. That's just like one baseline thing of why it's important to do the inner work out of all many.
And so just to kind of reiterate the first question, why is it important to do the inner work? I don't think a lot of people know what inner work is. So what are some common misconceptions about inner work? Like, what is not inner work? And what could be passed as inner work but isn't actually inner work? Like, what are misconceptions about that?
That's a good question. What is not inner work? I would say an example. I don't know if this will make sense, but many people, I hear it a lot, many people think aging is like kind of the example of doing the inner work because they have a high number on them, like, oh, I'm 40, oh, I'm like a big grown age, I'm good, like, I don't have any growth to do, I don't have any inner work to do. I feel like a lot of people kind of get caught up in how old they are and kind of feel like there's no inner work needed to be done. I feel like that's a misconception as well. I do feel like another misconception when it comes to doing the inner work is that it stops. That you just do the inner work once and you're done. I feel like I'm just talking from my experience, in my perspective, when I started doing the inner work intentionally, because I feel like we're always kind of doing the inner work, but it's like if you're conscious about it, and then doing it with intentions. So intentionally, when I started doing the inner work during the pandemic, basically, yeah, I moved to Calgary, yada yada yada. If you guys don't know the story, check it out on the YouTube. I moved to Calgary and I was doing the inner work, and then what happened is I stepped back out into the real world and I thought I was done. But what that really was, it was a plot twist. That was a whole lesson that was in the works. And I realized, oh no, the inner work isn't done. And I do feel like the inner work is a journey. That's what I feel it is. I don't feel
a
like
journey that takes place every single day.
Yes, every single day, and that it doesn't stop. But it's not, when I say it doesn't stop, it doesn't mean you shouldn't ever celebrate yourself about all the trials and how far you've come. I think we should always, I feel like we're always growing forward on this journey, and it's learning to enjoy this journey of doing the inner work, enjoy this journey of experiencing, and always celebrating at every milestone. Even if you can try to do mini celebrations during the day, it's just practicing celebrating yourself on this journey and enjoying this journey. And that's answers your question, what is a misconception with doing the inner work? That it stops, and I don't think it stops. I think it's a journey that keeps going till we leave.
And I guess that'd be a good reason to do the inner work, because you can celebrate afterwards because you've done such a good job. Now, what are some challenges that you can overcome by doing the inner work? I guess to my previous statement, why would somebody want to do the inner work? What would it help them with? What are some challenges that they can overcome? What are some things?
I feel like doing the inner work helps you. Okay, what challenges? Give me a second. Do you know that song? We got some motorcycles pulling in. Do you know that song by Erykah Badu, Bag Lady? Yeah, I know y'all know. I know y'all, my sisters know that song, and my brothers know that song, Bag Lady. Please don't hurt yourself carrying around all that baggage like that. I feel like doing that, why people should do the inner work is addressing that baggage. So you're not bringing it with you on this journey. You don't want a heavy load while you're on this journey. So these challenges you overcome is letting go, releasing, freeing yourself up on this journey. Not carrying around baggage, growing forward rather than getting pulled back.
Yeah,
that's a right. Major challenge people overcome by just doing the inner work.
And I guess, what's one way that an individual can do inner work? How can someone start doing the inner work when they're just starting out as a beginner? What's the best approach?
I feel like there's no right or wrong answer with that. I'll just share my experience.
What if a person thinks he's always right? And he thinks getting his life together, getting a nice hottie, getting a nice body, getting a nice car.
There's two ways you can begin doing the inner work, okay? You can do it by the hands of life forcing you, where unfortunately something tragic or very hard happens, causing you to get out of your ego and have a reality check. That is one way to start doing the work, and I would say that's not the ideal way, but for some it happens. But for others, you can just choose to it's just waking up one day and seeing, you see the state of the world. It's choosing to want to not be a part of all the negative that's in the world. It's just waking up one day and choosing, I want to do better. I want to be a part of the positive. I want to be that positive in the world. It starts with just that. That's the first step, I believe, is just wanting to do better and be a better person. And then listening. I feel like that's the next step.
Yeah.
Because it's like listening. All right, you want to be a better person? Listen. What's been told around you? What are people telling you? What like that's when the self-awareness comes in.
Yeah.
And I can go step by step, but we can save that for another episode. But yes, for sure, the number one is just it starts by choosing that you don't want to partake in the evil in the world. You just want to be good, and you want to bring some good to this world, and it starts with that.
So how does inner work contribute to personal growth, or even personal growth and development? How does that contribute?
How does inner work contribute to personal growth?
And could you even take it a step further and tell me how would it affect your outer environment and your business, for example?
So that's a great question. Thank you for rewording that for me, love. When you start doing the inner work, you also realize that, okay, maybe I need a change. I'm like on a different level now, and it seems like the people around me, the environment, the food I eat, like I don't want to be like that anymore, you know? So how doing the inner work contributes to personal development, you start seeing things for how it is and realizing, okay, I actually outgrown this part of me, and now I'm ready to take it up a notch and surround myself with a positive environment.
Yes.
Look at this. Surround myself with better people. Start eating good so I can start feeling good, you know? Consuming better content, high vibrational things. That's how doing the inner work contributes to personal development.
And speaking of personal development, I guess a lot of our viewers want to know how it contributes to spiritual development. Do you think it contributes to spiritual development? Inner work? Do you think it goes hand in hand, or it's something completely separate?
I feel like it goes hand in hand, because I'm going to use my example. Doing the inner work actually brought me back to God. I like sharing this example because I know a lot of people kind of probably grew up in a heavy church background, or grew up with like religious rules and those things, and I don't know if you guys resonate with this, but some of you got led astray by growing up in such a strict religious background, because you were taught to build this type of relationship with God. You were taught to live this way, but like, how was it? It kind of didn't feel right inside, right? Like, that's how it was for me. And basically growing up in a Catholic background that I did, Catholic Christian, it was kind of a mix. I was confused. It kind of led me astray, and it led me away from myself. So when I started doing the inner work, I would say that was like doing spiritual work as well, because I started finding a way back to myself, right? I started finding a way back to myself, and I started building my own personal relationship with God. I started talking to God in a way that makes me feel comfortable, rather than a way I was taught as a kid that I felt uncomfortable with. I developed my own personal relationship with God, and I feel like that's how doing the inner work and spirituality come hand to hand. Just talking from my experience, it helped me find my way back to self and source.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Overall, to summarize, doing the inner work, focusing on self-development, it not only helps you in all facets of life, but it means that you are having a more fulfilling life. Is that accurate to say? And ever since you started doing the inner work, what has been the hardest challenge for you?
Was acceptance and surrendering, because at the beginning of doing the inner work, I got into my ego. I'm going to keep it real with you guys, and seeing the people around me not doing the inner work were what I think, because that was my ego telling me they're not doing the inner work. But seeing people not on my level, again, ego, Seeing my environment not how it was, I was judging. I was feeling like I'm better and that these people are below me. It was easy to kind of put myself above because I'm like, you aren't woke, you aren't doing the work, you know? So yeah, what was the question? I feel like I lost it.
What was one of the biggest challenges?
And
you're kind of you're answering that.
yeah.
It was the ego. I
Overcoming.
totally resonate with that because when I first started, sorry to make this about me.
No.
When I first started reading self-development books and doing the inner work, I did it not because I wanted to help anybody, not because I wanted to grow. That was the byproduct of doing the inner work. But I did it because I'm just like, I'm not that book smart, but at least I'll have an edge when it comes to this.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was superior in emotional control or maturity.
Yeah.
You know, and self-development and leadership skills and whatever it was. That's what it started out with. Of course, that's not something that maintains the self-development journey. You know, the discipline falls off if it's the ego running it.
Yeah.
But it is a good challenge. And how do you overcome the ego?
So it just falls back to doing the inner work, because it's, you know, when you're doing the inner work, you kind of start developing the self-awareness. So it's catching yourself when you're operating out of your ego, when you're operating out of a low vibration, and checking yourself with grace, because I'm learning that we don't want to be so hard on ourselves on this journey. And it's just getting back to doing the inner work, realizing, oh, okay, I see there is where I have some more work to do. Yeah. Being okay with that, not mad about it, because I'm talking from experience here. And acceptance, because that's what I was saying was one of the challenges, accepting that, you know, I still have some more work inner work to do. So that's how you check your ego, is just being in that state of self-awareness, realizing in the moment when you're operating out of it, checking yourself and just getting back into doing the work. That's it.
There you go. Amen. So this is going to wrap up our session with Shireen from Take What Resonates. I hope you got something out of it, something of value. I hope you move forward with this information and with this new day.
And yeah, if you guys love that, just follow Take What Resonates. There's more to come from me. There's more to come from Ed. And thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys in episode 2. Peace.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.